What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Sticks and Beers podcast. A little midweek content filler for you. It's your boy Bobby D, joined with Greg Malfeasy, Dad, Kyle Hiscock, and Tyler. My new mic is pretty good. Hickey.
Mr. Heat and Eat.
Oh, let's not make that a saying.
He's all about them sponsors.
I live for them.
So
I live off their paycheck. So yeah.
I don't know how you do it. But just like last time, a couple weeks ago, we put out a little midweek filler content. We're going to be doing the same thing. That's going to be a regular pretty much going forward now for the podcast. Going to be talking a little, half hour, 40 minutes, or however short or long we go. One discussion. We're all going to debate the idea. If we agree, if we disagree, we'll get into it. For the sake of this week's midweek filler content, on the topic at hand is the All-Star game. So the question for the group and for this podcast is the All-Star game broken? If so, how do we fix it? And first, last podcast, I wasn't drinking anything, but for this podcast, I grabbed one from the fridge. My parents were in Montreal last week, and my dad loves this one beer, Rickards Red. It is a red Irish style ale. Parents were in Montreal last weekend. My dad got it at the border, and it's pretty tasty. If you guys ever go to Canada and want to try it,
They don't sell them in the U.S. at all, right? Is that strictly Canadian?
I think it's strictly Canada.
I thought so too, because I've never actually seen it sold here. But I don't get out much, so
I never even heard of it. So there,
I've only heard of it because of Bob's dad.
It's really good. It's really good. I just, that was my first time legally being able to drink that, even though I'm 26 now. That's how long I haven't been in Canada. So, anyway, I haven't been to Canada since high school, I think. All-Star game. Is it broken? Yes. I don't like the current All-Star game format for the NHL. I personally think All-Star games are pretty lame in general. But with that being said, I love the All-Star competition. The All-Star competition to me is the best part of All-Star weekend. Some events within the competition are lame, like that one relay race thing that they had last year where they had to lacrosse style pick up the puck and put it through the thing, and then at the 3 different layers, things like that. I think my biggest thing, and I know other pundits and people in the media have talked about it, I think it would be cool to sort of bring in ringers for the All-Star competition. And literally, like, for the fastest skater, bring guys who the league and fans know, this guy's one of the fastest skaters in the league. He might not have numbers to be an all-star, but how cool would it be to have the top 10 fastest skaters in the league, like Nick Ehlers, Dylan Larkin, Braden Point, Connor McDavid,
etc.
XYZ. Yeah,
Michael Grabner.
Yeah, Michael Grabner. Freaking, and then you could do that with like the hardest shot, where it's like Chara is not going to be an all-star this year. Weber's not going to be. Weber might be an all-star this year. No, he didn't. Right? He didn't make the roster.
No, he didn't make it.
But he was close. But just having like selective groups at their own attribute, do that. That would be my thing. And I'm really close to just saying like scrap it all together. But that's my opinion.
I mean, I would actually enjoy that. Guys kind of come in and hey, let's challenge Connor McDavid to be the fastest guy. You can get that bragging rights, or Chara. His game's dipped off, but I mean, can he still shoot 108 miles an hour? Probably. Sorry, go ahead.
No, well, I was just gonna say again. I talk about it all the time. 31 Thoughts podcast. Jeff Merrick is a giant wrestling WWE fan, and he said, how cool would it be to have like Connor McDavid do his lap, right, and then the lights just shut off in the rink and like a rock song turns on and everyone's like, oh my god, that's Anthony Anthony or whatever that dude's name is, song. And Anthony Sio, he just comes in and
boom baby
challenges Connor, and they do it like that. Like, the list is not provided to anyone. It's a complete surprise. Something like that.
Man, I do. I love that concept of bringing in whoever's
Ringer.
best. I mean, I think of like who was the shootout specialist back in the day that didn't really do anything. Linus Omark
I
didn't
was
really
gonna
do
say
anything in the
Jussi
show.
Tokinen.
No.
Yeah, okay. I mean, a guy like that though, that's not. I mean, he's never going to make an All-Star game. You know, it's not.
Chip in
You're
the
not going to have
cage,
any. Yeah, well, but the concept standing. I mean, when he was around in the NHL, he's never going to make an All-Star game, but throw him in with his best attribute or whatever he's best at. And especially, Bob, going back to what you said, any hardest shot competition without Zdeno Chara is not a hardest shot competition I'm crazy about. That stings. I got to see him in it, don't you? Doesn't everyone? Don't we deserve that?
Him or Shea Weber. I mean,
Yeah.
what like
Both.
was the last year
Sorry.
and or Shea Weber? Because last year was the first year like Chara didn't go and Weber won it because he's second best basically.
Yep. Now it'll be risk though, but whatever.
Greg, why don't we go to you next?
All right. I'm gonna say so. I'm thinking of I'm not limiting it like you did, Bob. Not limiting it to just All-Star game, but All-Star weekend as a whole. So NHL All-Star weekend, I think they've somehow. This might be a hot take actually. Do I have an alarm around or something? This might be a hot take. NHL has the best All-Star game of the 4 major pro sports. There, I said it. The All-Star game, you already dealt a bad hand because it's difficult to get the best talent on display, performing at the peaks of their attribute. Like there's no incentive for them to bust their ass out there to do that. So to me, NHL All-Star game, while yes, it could still use tweaks in the weekend in general, it could still use tweaks. I actually think going 3-on-3 for the game specifically was the best thing they could have done, especially given where this game's going, how it's routing, and just the speed, the talent, all of that. I mean, I would go max 4-on-4, but I love the 3-on-3, man. So I wouldn't honestly do anything to that right now. And the way they do more like shorter staccato games, I think is better to see the action in spurts. I'd like to see a bigger cash incentive so these guys actually want to play for something, but you also don't want to see like, it's the worst when you see guys go off in the Olympics and Johnny T breaks a fucking leg or something. So you don't want. It's a tough balance between what people are actually going to sign up for in terms of owners, general managers, that kind of thing, and like the products the league can actually put out. So I think from that perspective, they're nailing it, to be honest, which is weird. I wouldn't usually compliment the NHL like that. All-Star game, I think they do some dumb competitions. Like I hate when like the breakaway challenge goes all showboat and Alex Ovechkin is throwing on like a sunglasses and a sombrero and shit or whatever he did that one year. I hate that aspect of it. I want to see like cool but creative moves. Like and it's obviously you can't tell players what to do when they're out there. But I think directionally, I think they're absolutely going the right way. And most of those events are good. I mean, I'd change up the save streak just because that seems a little weird to me that it's not. I mean, I don't know. It's just so weird to me. You have to make the most shootout saves as a goalie in a row. To me, that doesn't make any sense, to be honest. But largely speaking, I think the NHL is kind of nailing it. I wouldn't change a whole ton other than tweaks the events of the skills comp itself. And God, I can't believe I'm saying that. This feels weird. This doesn't feel right, guys. But here we are.
I'm gonna challenge you on one thing that you said, and it mainly because you said like the 4 major sports, and I think MLS is rightfully so.
I knew that was going to get you.
Put their name into it, and I do like the MLS All-Star game. And the new talk is that for this year that they're just going to take a league All-Star team and play the All-Stars from the Mexican League, which I think is pretty cool.
But you can't do that in hockey. I mean, yeah, I guess you could play the KHL All-Stars, but you're getting into like Russia waters, which that's always unknown. Why not
do so how they used to do like Team North America versus Team Europe when it came to the All-Star competition and the All-Star game? Why don't do that NHL versus World?
Well, but it wouldn't be NHL. You're saying
it would be North America.
No. It would be the NHL versus every other league combined.
It wouldn't even be close.
Yeah, we smoked them.
That would be a bloodbath.
I think it would be fun. I think
most of them, well, for us, because we'd be dominating them, but most of the players rest of the world are going to come from the KHL anyway, I think.
But
it would be 14-0 at the end of the first period.
Yeah, but I'm talking skills competition as well. Those guys are probably just as sick when it comes to skills as the guys in the NHL. But and then if it's a 3-on-3 game, but then obviously you can't bring a full NHL roster for a 3-on-3 game. But I'm just playing devil's advocate.
I hear that, but I would still rather see Jack Eichel going against a Johnny Gaudreau in a divisional matchup than see some guy I don't know in KHL or like a 38-year-old Pavel Datsyuk. Actually, that's not true. I'd like to see Datsyuk in it. But the concept stands. I mean, most of those guys, I don't think that would pull in more viewers. I guess that's not going to I don't know. It's an interesting concept. It is, and because I used to love the North America versus Europe games, but man, that's going to be tough to actually grow that from a viewership dollar standpoint.
Yeah, true. I don't know, Bob. You got anything to add on to that one?
To Bob like that. Okay, thought you were going to come in.
Well, he was the one who challenged you, so
No.
I
thought of something, but I think it was back to my first one. Where I'm a big advocate for international competition. So I think I would personally rather scrap the All-Star game for some form of international competition. Like if there's a trade-off, I'm not saying at that same time, but if there is a way to I know the Olympics obviously exist, but to just have I'd rather have the Olympics every 4 years and have them every 4 years than the All-Star game be mediocre every year. That's my last opinion, and then we can move on.
Okay. So it's my turn now, huh? Am I up in the rotation? Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
All right. So I worked the NHL All-Star game when I was in Nashville. Not a big deal. From a fan perspective, I think they're doing a great job. Like Greg said, if you're actually there, it is a great time. There's a lot of things to do, a lot of activities, concerts, whatnot. But if you're watching on TV, it just it leaves a lot to be wanted, because you don't get that in-game experience. And I think partially is we're leaving some of the best players at home. Braden Point, Steven Stamkos. Some of these guys off the Atlantic roster. I mean, yeah, the Atlantic's stacked, but Mitch Marner. How are these guys not in the game? Oh, sorry, Stamkos is actually in there. But Point, Marner, Hedman, these guys are great. So we need to either increase the teams or increase the roster sizes to get more players in there, because there are a lot of players, and I am a big believer in having one player per team, because it keeps the Floridas, the Columbuses, Arizona's, it keeps them involved, which I think is very important for the growth of the NHL. But we got to expand, either make another team, make a rookie team or something, or a under 20 team, something like that, under 21, somewhere in that age. Make one of those teams and just go with it, because under 21 team, a 3-on-3, that's gonna be fun to watch.
Team North America, baby.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be North America. Anyone under the age of 21 in NHL, you can create that fifth team. You can do a little bit more games probably, and the skills competition. It is what it is. It keeps changing every year. Again, yeah, they add and they subtract every. It seems like every year they add or subtract something. So, it could be added on, it could not, but I think if you're watching from TV, I think there's a lot left, to be, a lot of entertainment left on the table for not experience it in hand. Yeah, rebuttals.
Well, I don't really have a rebuttal. It's sort of just an addition point to that. I agree with you. I would love to go to an All-Star weekend and be there, because that's the NHL. The in-game experience is way more important.
Yeah,
to the sport. I'm not saying financially, but to the sport, that's what makes hockey hockey. So yeah, that's a very good point, Tyler.
Does seem like the number of events is underwhelming too. I don't know why I always get surprised when I go to look up the actual skills comp and it's 6 events. I don't know why that seems like not that many to me. I mean, 3 of them seem like they're staples with hardest shot and accuracy and fastest skater, and then they try to fuck with the other 3 basically. But 6 doesn't seem like that many, and maybe I'm crazy. Maybe there's not that much to expand on, but I don't know. That seems weird. What do you got, Kyle?
Tyler, you got something to say?
No. I said my piece. I'm done for the pod. Smelling it in. See you guys later.
All right, I'll go fuck myself. See you guys.
All right, bye.
Cheers.
I'm kind of on the same wavelengths as Greg in terms of I give the NHL credit in terms of I think they're doing a lot of the right things with making it into a 3-on-3 games, mini games. I mean, the 5-on-5 was a joke when they used to have just Western versus Eastern or whatever it was.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, the guys, there was no compete level at all, and obviously it's to be expected in an All-Star game. The compete level is going to be a little bit lower than a regular.
A
lot lower, but I mean, it was almost to the point where it was worse than a Thursday night men's league game down at the shore.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not.
Almost. You're right. Almost.
No defense for sure.
No defense for sure. Exactly. I kind of would like to see them not include one player from every team. And the reason I say that is I think if in order to get voted to an All-Star game, it should be an honor, not necessarily a given because you play for a shit team.
Mm-hmm.
And I know when they initially released the captains for the All-Star game this year, they had interviewed McKinnon, and he was kind of talking about how this is, they asked one of the reporters, so this is your 3rd All-Star game in a row. What's your thoughts on it? And the first thing that came out of his mouth was, well, basically this is my 2nd All-Star game in a row because the first year I really didn't deserve to go there. That was the year they were historically bad with, 42 points or something. But I mean, they had to include someone from Colorado. So he had an awful year. I mean, I don't think he broke 50 points that year.
Seems crazy.
Which it is. And so to me, I think especially I see where you're coming from in terms of a fan base standpoint, in terms of needing to include someone like the teams like the Ottawa Senators, like the LA Kings that are just having shit seasons where, there might not be any guys from either of those teams that deserve to be there necessarily when comparing to some other guys on teams that are succeeding. But I'm sure if you asked even the guys who are on those lower end teams, if they feel they should be there, their answer is probably going to be no. Personally, it's kind of like everybody gets a participation trophy award. I mean, I think those guys were
fucking millennials.
They're fucking millennials, right? Those guys they want to earn their way to the All-Star game. They don't want to just get in, virtue because you play for a shit team. But like I said, I see on your side of things in terms of from a fan base standpoint why they need to do it that route. So, in terms of the competition itself, I kind of agree with some of the ticky-tacky things that they're trying to add. I'm more of a traditionalist when it comes to the skills competition. I love, hardest shot, accuracy, fastest skater, and some of the shit like Bob was saying with the weaving in, picking the puck up like a lacrosse and having to weave it in and out and shit. Sure, it shows their talent and their skill, but not necessarily something that I don't think it's good for the competition, but and I think that's about it, man. I mean, it's a good product. I love the 3-on-3. I like that they put something on the line in terms of cash. I think that's important. But on the other hand, from a player's perspective, I don't blame a lot of these guys for sitting out. Like some of these, reporters are saying, "Oh, why is Alex Ovechkin why is he going to suspend himself for a game because he doesn't want to go to the All-Star game?" Well, he's in his early to mid 30s. He just came off a cup victory. He's having one of the best years of his career goal scoring wise. The last thing the guy wants to have happen is he has to, go out west all the way from Washington to San Jose for Thursday, because I'm sure they have to be there a few days early for, publicity and press and things like that.
Yeah, it's basically a 5-day event.
Yeah, while there's other guys in the league in their division and their conference that on their team and other teams that are just sitting around, they're on vacation. They go to, who knows, maybe they're down in the Caribbean sipping on a Mai Tai, hanging out on a beach because, they're prepping themselves for this, the second half of the season and the playoff runs. I think it's a disadvantage to someone like Ovechkin, and I don't have any issue with him sitting out personally.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure it was 31 Thoughts Pod, Bob. You might have to back me up on this, but Jeff Merrick said, I think veterans get, after a certain amount of years or a certain amount of all-star games played, you could have a choice of sitting out. Give them like a veteran, like a loyalty card, basically saying, hey, you put your service in like Ovi has. He's gone to 10 all-star games in a 13-year career.
Yeah.
Hey, you can sit this one out, no suspension or anything, which is, I find interesting. They kind of get some, Ovi, Crosby, they put their time in, Malkin, get some young blood in there, get some of these new young faces in, and, go with it.
Yeah, but then is it really an all-star game, though?
See, I don't like that. I don't want to give incentive for them to not show up, but I like the one game ban, one game suspension. It's not like it's killing anybody.
It's not
I think
it's
that's
everybody.
perfect.
It's like after you played, 5 or 8 all-star games. Hey, you want to sit this one out? Here's your one get out of free jail card. But maybe it's only once. And, you have to go to the next 5 or something. I don't know.
They should
Get out of free jail.
Yeah, almost make it like a
jail free.
They should almost make it like a thing. Like if anyone, any of our listeners have ever been in sales, like once you hit your quota, that it's just like bonuses and stuff like that added on top of that. So it should be like I don't know how the NHL could do it, but if like a player reaches like 5, then they're fine. Like you only get suspended if you haven't reached that number. And then after that, it's like a legacy thing where it's like if Ovechkin at 9 or 10 all-star games still wants to go, fine. That's amazing and awesome. Good for him. But once you hit like this benchmark, turn it, you by all means should be able to turn it down. 5 might be because guys play at like 18, 19 years old and they could be like 25 and already have played in like 5 or 6. Maybe make it like 8.
Man, I don't love that because I don't want to incentivize the guys that fans are paying money. Like you want to go see the Ovies and the Crosbys of the world in this. That's why you're doing it.
Make one of the teams be a legacy team where it's like automatically the best players in like the all-stars of the all-stars. So like Ovechkin, and I don't think Crosby's actually been in that many, but like Crosby, and then like McDavid will be in there. So then it's like everyone else in the league versus like the elite NHLers. I think that could be something.
Let me ask you.
Sorry.
Let me ask you something. Get your guys' thoughts on it. Do you think that the NHL does this as an opportunity for them to grow the game and get more fans included, or is it a money grab?
It's a
money grab.
Thank you.
Look, if you just look at the 6 skills competitions, they're all named after a corporation: Bridgestone, Enterprise, Ticketmaster, Gatorade, SAP, and Honda. It's a money grab. It's for, get some, like a new fan, like someone who's never watched hockey is going to look at this and be like,
yeah, it's not great for TV.
Yeah, exactly. That's back to my point. It's not great for TV, and you're missing out on something like what the players missing. But like, you don't sell them on this. You sell them on a playoff game that's going back and forth, and there's hard hits and there's scoring chances. That's how you gain new fans.
And go ahead, Greg.
I was gonna say agreed to an extent though, because the moms of the world, and obviously that's not your target demo or something like that, but
why moms can't watch hockey, Greg?
Maybe it's your saying. Maybe
that's what you're saying.
No, I didn't say that. I said that's not your target demo. That's not the market to specifically exploit. But to me, you've got a better chance of getting them in passing, watching this and saying, "Oh, okay, I recognize that guy from this," or something like that. Whereas, it's easier to predict what hockey fans are going to go for, and that's going to be playoff hockey and intense shit that obviously we enjoy to watch. That's an interesting one, though. That's an interesting one.
Well, anything out there is actually obviously going to grow the game, but as long as your exposure is exposure, right? So as long as you get your name out there, and that's what this thing is, even though it's more of a money grab.
Do the and Tyler, you may know or may not know. Do the players, do they get, obviously besides the 3-on-3 tournament if they win it, do they get incentivized in terms of monetarily compensated to go to the All-Star game?
I believe on entry level contracts, if you get voted in or you get selected, you get a bonus.
And
But
anything can be negotiated as well, can it be? Like when you're signing a contract, can't you write in a bonus?
No, you can't. You can't have player bonuses unless it's entry level or an over 35 age contract.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so you can't do like a games
Good
played or
tidbit.
points don't bonus at all in a regular standard contract. So like other than that, no, there's not. I don't think there's a whole lot of incentive, to go.
But why did I think there was? I thought there was a cash incentive for the team that actually wins the All-Star.
Yeah, yeah.
There is.
Participation. Okay, all right. So it's not
Kyle was asking
participating in-
other than that.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
and the only reason it kind of leads into why I was asking it was, well, how fucking awesome would it be if, because the NHL, let's face it, the NHL usually wins versus the NHLPA, right? In most cases, they win every time. What if every NHL team just said, fuck it, we're not sending any players to the All-Star game? None. You want to take away our Olympics? You want to take away this? We're not sending any players to your All-Star game. You can suspend it. What are they going to do? Suspend every guy for a game before or after the Olympic or the All-Star game?
It's basically a lockout.
I mean, it's just, if it's a money grab for the NHL and the players, like you said, they may be getting bonuses or incentives, but then compensate these guys to try. If you were offering Ovechkin, I don't know what kind of money would be. Not fuck you money to that guy at this point. I don't know what it is. Maybe
his pockets are lined with diamonds. You
well,
kidding me?
Shit, but I'm just saying. I mean, what's a number that's gonna take a guy like him and say, all right, it might be a 5-day trip out west, and it's what would that number take for the NHL to pay out these guys that are getting to the All-Star game? I don't know.
50 large. 50K. I'd fucking go just about anywhere in the country.
Oh yeah.
Well, different.
That's you, Greg. You're not making hundreds of thousands of dollars
a game.
Oh, I'm not? You sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Sure about
that?
that?
How you live.
How much did you sign him for on our Thursday night men's league team? Jesus, Tyler.
All right, let's
pennies on the dollar.
Let's
got him for cheap steel.
All right, Tyler. Let's wrap up this pod. Let's all go around the horn. One last thought on said topic. If you have remembered something from the beginning of the pod and want to touch back on it, now's your chance. Anyone?
Oh,
go ahead, Tyler.
Oh, that my turn.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I think it just has to change. Get more players into this, get more exposure. You know what? It just helps grow the game in general.
Kyle?
I just think make the players earn it. Get rid of the auto entries for teams that, just because they're on a team that doesn't have anyone good, they automatically get in.
Greg?
Pay the fucking boys and you'll see the balls, all right? Pay the boys, they'll show up and they'll kill it. Period.
And Kyle, I agree with you. I think it should be more merit-based versus just because you're the only above average player on a team. Like right now, Kyle Palmieri for the Devils is going because Taylor Hall's injured. And I guarantee you he'd much rather be in the Bahamas than having to fly across the country to play in a game in California for a day and a half, then have to fly all the way back. So,
unless you get 50 G's for it.
I don't know. He's already making $5 million a year. What's another $50,000?
I feel like that's still a lot of money. I don't know, man. I feel like that's still a lot. But you're right. Concept fans.
And Tyler, I don't think they get game checks because on the Bobcast, I think they don't. Yeah, they get paid by the day.
Yeah, and how many days are in the NHL? And it's like 182 game schedule or whatever.
Yeah. And with that, guys, we'll end it there. That was another midweek beautiful content filler brought to you by the boys over here at the Sticks.
Little roundtable discussion.
A little roundtable discussion. Not as good as our master debate, but we can actually I think we did a lot of agreeing this one. So next podcast, we'll come with a better debate. But as always, Or what, Tyler?
This is a great debate. It's I mean, the All-Star game's coming around. You know, it's a big topic of controversy. A lot of the NHL fans are talking about it. So I think.
Well,
it's
I mean, like between us, I feel like we,
Oh.
for the majority, sort of agreed with each other and just built off of our own ideas.
You know what? They should put me in it. That's what I think.
Jeez.
Hardest shot,
Yeah.
hardest muffin.
Hardest muffin.
Dude, I'm topping 35, baby.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, folks, we'll see you in a week from now. You know the drill. Every other and every Wednesday now that we're doing midweek content. Check us out at sticksandbeers.com. Everything social media, Sticks and Beers. You know the drill. It's been real.
It's been fun.
But it hasn't been real fun.
We'll see you next time, folks.
Bye-bye.